I thought we might try something a little different today. This is an older piece of art that I've uploaded to Instagram and TikTok, so you may have seen it there, but I still wanted to post the full version of the speed paint. So here it is. As usual, we are starting off with the sketch. I have my symmetry tool on, so you are going to see things are very symmetrical for the most part. And I start with the face, the ears, and I kind of work with an expression, and then I build from there in this piece. I was drawing my kind of D&D Baldur's Gate sort of character. Her name is Celine. She is an Aasimar elf. I don't know what's going on. It changes constantly. There's no consistency. But anyway, so I wanted to have this kind of like light, sort of like airy, dreamy, sad expression. It just went a lot of different places. And I wanted this one particular hand pose that you can see I was really, really, really trying to do. I could not get it to work. The symmetry tool, I did turn it off to get the hair right and give it more kind of like flow in the sketch, and then also to try and get the legs how I wanted them. But I have a lot of trouble making my art the way I want it without the symmetry tool. I love symmetry. I love front facing. It's just what I like. I don't have an excuse. It probably does mean I don't really know how to draw. It's just who I am. It's what I like. I can't stop. Anyway, so you can see that I tried a lot of different poses. I tried a lot of different clothing. When it comes to this character, because it's so like constantly changing the image that I have in my head, and I also I like fashion, I like clothes, I like different outfits. It's like there's no real consistency, so there's no real reason not to just mess around. But I was trying to make something cool. I wanted to make something that I liked. My art is for me. But yeah, so I tried to kind of like take away some of the symmetry here to make the piece have more like depth, and I was like, oh, I don't think I like it. So I started adding the symmetry back in, but I also wanted the body type to be more realistic. At the time that I was working on this mostly, I had seen a lot of like I went to an art museum, and I've been looking at a lot of the like Renaissance to like 1800s paintings from like European artists, and so that kind of like inspired me. I think more in the coloring, you can see it here. It's kind of like, girl, what are you talking about? But yeah, but I wanted to like do more human proportions versus like anime proportions. That I like, I love, I watch One Piece. So I don't like drawing everything realistic. That's a weird reason for that. Anyway, here you can see that I have kind of changed how I'm doing like a line art process. My sketches are extremely messy, especially when I do a detailed sketch like this. So cleaning it up first with like still my kind of like blue Procreate pencil really helps to figure out the actual like lining that I'm going to do. And it also helps me decide like, oh, this doesn't work. Like those hands on her hips, the like armor hands, they don't work. They don't work like this, and I learned that when I did this, so I had to go fix them. And there's a lot of just like extra details that I can put in this phase or like mess around with in this phase. Like I think in the sketch I didn't have any like detail on the dress, so I played around with it a little and was like, okay, yeah, I'll add this when I do stuff later. But yeah, I also was able to kind of just like this stage, I think, lets me breathe in the final line art stage. because the final line art stage has always been like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing when I go into that. It also, like, there's a tattoo artist I watch, whose name I have completely forgotten. I want to say it's like Kurt something. And he says, like, the main thing to do, like, when you do tattoos is to simplify, and cut back on your details. And I really love some detail, but I'm trying so hard to simplify because, yeah, like, if you simplify it, you can add the detail in later, like in shading and stuff, especially in this type of, like, painting style, that I've been really, like, interested in working on, although I haven't been messing with it as much recently. So I'm trying so hard, at least in line art, to simplify, and in absolutely no other areas of my life. But yeah, I really like this little part here where there's, like, teeth. I don't know. Character design is weird, and I'm bad at it, but it's fun. Anyway, yeah. Wings are, like, not my thing. I'm not good at drawing them. So, they're messy, they're weird, they work. And I'm really proud of those little hand things. I'm really happy with those, and no one can take that away from me. And if you try to take it away from me, I will cry thank you. So I also didn't do symmetry on these, the ruffles. And here is just flat color. It's flat color is boring and I don't like it. Also, the liner brush that I used is the same brush I used for all my color except for flats. It's the same exact brush. It's not opaque 100%. I really like it because I can blend it in with stuff and it, like, auto blends. Procreate brushes don't have a normal auto blend setting on the regular brushes, so you have to download brushes that do that. And I wish I had the link to this brush. I've been trying to find it and figure out which one it is, and I don't know. So I'm sorry I can't share it. It's my favorite brush. But yeah. So I wanted to change the shape of the eyes because I realized, like, this was not working for me. As I was, like, filling this in, I was like, ooh, oh. And I will do it later, but as you can see, I decided, like, okay, we'll just mess with the dress. And I one time asked a Tumblr artist how, this was years and years and years ago, and I do not remember who it was, so I'm sorry, how to draw, like, well, how to color white. And she said, blue. Blue. Shade with blue. So I shade with blue. And I like how that works, so that's just how I do it. Gray also works depending on the lighting. Pink works depending on the lighting. Purple. You can do whatever you want. And I know everyone says, don't shade with black, don't use black. Well, I like it. I like shading with black. I like using black. I think it looks cool. I think it's neat. I think it's fun. I think shading gold with black is great. And no one can take that away from me until I look at it one day and I go, oh, why'd I do that? Yeah, I colored the hair in an airport. I felt really awkward about it. And I did it anyway. I think I also did part of it on the plane. Because I went to go see Wallows in Chicago. And first of all, the Wallows concert was really good, and it was fun, and it was my first concert ever. I am 27, by the way, and I had never been to a concert. And this year I went to two. I went to Wallows, and I went to Two Door Cinema Club. And it was really fun. But, so I did this in Chicago, on the way to Chicago, in Chicago, and on the way back. And this is my art piece from that trip. And I think also slightly before. But yeah, I shaded the wings with the same color as the dress. I don't know why that's important, but I just felt like you needed to know. And the wings, I didn't care. when I did the wings. I was done. I wanted to be done with this drawing so bad. I cannot express how much I just wanted to be done. And I was like, I don't care about the wings. I don't care that they look like shit. I'm done. But then I proceeded to redo the hair like 7 times because I looked bad, and I was like, only one thing can look bad. Only one thing on this drawing can look bad. Either the wings can look bad or the hair can look bad, but they can't both look bad. So I redid the hair a whole bunch until I was happy with it. And one thing about this method of just kind of like painting is if you dig around with it enough, it will eventually look okay. And that's something that I really treasure, because it's so hard, I think, sometimes to get something to look right. But knowing that if I just mess with it enough, it'll probably be fine. The only thing is, when do I stop? And I think going to that museum and looking at those paintings, and there was this one painting, it was absolutely gorgeous, but I looked at the pearls on this painting and I was like, that bastard didn't fucking finish those. And I was slightly appalled, but also like, absolute Chad. I'm gonna choose not to finish things that I don't want to finish either. So yeah, there were just things I chose not to finish because I was like, it's good enough. It's good enough. And that has made me change my views on that, just that one experience of looking at that dude's pearls on his painting, that he was like, I put white and yellow on it. What the fuck else do you want from me? This is art. Like, I love art museums. I think everyone should go to the art museum. And if you can't go to the art museum, you should check out a book from your local library or look at pictures on Google of fine art and zoom in really close. Like, objectively too close, and just be like, did you? Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so for the dress, I also decided, what if I just messed around with 5,000 colors? And I really liked this, like, green. But I was like, green's not the vibe. It's not the season. So then I tried to mess around with, like, lighter colors and kind of, like... There was an old, like, post that went around, I think probably also on Tumblr, that showed how to do, like, holographic fabrics, and you used, like, gray, like, this kind of, like, light green, purple, and so I kind of took that, rolled with it, went in a different direction, and just ran with it. That wording honestly didn't make any sense. We're gonna go with it. I went with it, and this is how it came out. I tried to make it so that you could still see the hands underneath, so I went back and added gold, and then I also wanted to add like a gold design. So it's literally just a palette that I have that has a couple colors, and then I added some like outline, which I used as like a through line through the hair, and then the gold areas to keep it all kind of like centralized, and also on the arms. And then I decided, okay, I have to do a background now, which every background I've done, I think, except for maybe one, has been an afterthought. It is a problem. I'm working on it, but not that hard. So I tried to do kind of like a, like, okay, like radiant, but like also like gross necromantic energy. And that's kind of where it went. I also felt like I needed to add more stuff. And I wanted to add even more stuff, but I had to tell myself no, it was enough, and that we were done. And then I also tried to change the gem, which I did do successfully. And I'm going to add a bunch of these little, like, highlight things. And when I do, whenever I add them, you can see them on the gem. They're just, like, a cross. They're a cross. That's all they are. They're really easy. They make everything look good. Except for when you add too many, which I objectively do. It's my thing, it's my art style. And then I just play with the settings and add different colors. But yeah, that's it. It's over. It's done. Thank you for watching. Bye.